Another day, another story. Boeing has successfully launched its long-delayed astronaut capsule, marking a significant milestone in their efforts to develop a reliable spacecraft for crewed missions. This event is part of Boeing's collaboration with NASA under the Commercial Crew Program, which aims to provide safe and efficient transportation to and from the International Space Station, ISS. The capsule, known as the CST-100 Starliner, has faced numerous delays and technical challenges since its initial development. The recent launch is a critical step towards certifying the spacecraft for regular astronaut missions. Here are some key points about the mission and the Starliner capsule. Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. Objective: the main goal of the recent launch is to perform an uncrewed test flight to demonstrate the capsule's ability to autonomously reach the ISS, dock, and return safely to Earth. This test is crucial for validating the spacecraft's systems and ensuring it meets NASA's stringent safety requirements. Background: the CST-100 Starliner is designed to carry up to 7 astronauts or a mix of crew and cargo. It is intended to provide an alternative to SpaceX's Crew Dragon for transporting astronauts to the ISS, thereby enhancing redundancy and ensuring continuous American access to space. Previous challenges: the Starliner program has encountered several setbacks, including software issues, hardware malfunctions, and scheduling delays. Notably, a failed test flight in December 2019 highlighted significant software problems that prevented the capsule from reaching the ISS. Improvements and tests: since the 2019 setback, Boeing has worked extensively to address the issues identified. The recent successful launch indicates that these efforts are paying off, though further testing and validation are required before the capsule can be certified for crewed missions. Impact: a successful test flight is expected to boost confidence in Boeing's capabilities and contribute to the broader goals of NASA's Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the Moon and eventually send astronauts to Mars. This launch represents a crucial step forward for Boeing and NASA, showcasing progress in commercial spaceflight and the development of new technologies for human space exploration. The American Boeing company has launched its Starliner capsule towards the International Space Station, ISS, with 2 NASA astronauts aboard. It's the first time the vehicle has been entrusted to carry people after coming through a long and tortuous development program. Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams will be testing the capsule on a mission that's expected to last just over a week. Starliner is scheduled to dock with the space station on Thursday. The capsule went up from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, riding a United Launch Alliance Atlas rocket. The 12-minute powered ascent looked flawless. Moments before liftoff, Commander Wilmore called out to thank all those who had worked to make the mission possible. Alluding to past difficulties, he said, "When the going gets tough, and it often does, the tough get going, and you have." Starliner's pilot Suni Williams chimed in, "Go, Calypso," the name of the capsule. "Take us to space and back." Starliner now has to raise itself to the orbit of the ISS, which circles the Earth at an altitude of roughly 250 miles. In the 24 hours this will take, Wilmore and Williams plan to put the vehicle through its paces, including taking manual control of the flight systems. Earliest and most distant galaxy ever observed Voyager 1 sends readable data again from deep space. NASA. New plan needed to return rocks from Mars. This mission is a critical venture for manufacturer Boeing, which has been under pressure after a series of safety incidents on its aeroplanes. Starliner, likewise, has encountered numerous technical issues that have delayed its planned crew debut by almost a decade. The most dramatic of these problems occurred on the capsule's first uncrewed test flight in 2019, when software errors forced the vehicle to abort its trip to the ISS. NASA requested a second dummy run be conducted in 2022 to be sure the errors had been corrected. Recent days have once again focused on Starliner's readiness with the discovery of a small helium leak in the spacecraft's propulsion system. Detailed analysis eventually led Boeing and NASA to conclude the leak was not serious enough to hold up the launch. Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore are due back on Earth next week. Starliner was developed in response to NASA's request for commercial options to get its astronauts into space. Following the retirement of the famous shuttles in 2011, the agency wanted to move away from owning and operating vehicles to an arrangement where it could simply purchase the service, just like a company might outsource its IT needs or payroll. The new approach was designed to save NASA money. It could then spend on ambitious plans to return people to the Moon. The agency gave contracts to Boeing and SpaceX to help bring their capsules into service and then pay them for 6 operational missions. But whereas SpaceX was able to fly its crew flight test in 2020 and then complete 6 operational missions by March this year, Boeing is still at the stage of the initial crew flight test. If Starliner can prove itself over the coming days, it will join SpaceX's Dragon capsule in the routine transport of astronauts, potentially as early as the beginning of next year. Right now, we have one provider giving us that access to the space station, top NASA official Jim Free explained. This will give us a second provider, which means if we have a problem with either, we have ways to get our crews to and from station, which helps keep the tempo that we've had for 23 years of having humans in low Earth orbit, the associate administrator said. Guide to Starliner. Starliner is heading up to the space station with about 376 lbs of cargo. A key supply item is a replacement pump for the system on the ISS that purifies urine back to drinking water. Much of the cargo, however, is simply Boeing merchandise that will become memorabilia for this important test flight. This includes mission patches, coins, silver Snoopy pens, American flags, and a hard drive with about 500 pieces of artwork from children across the world. If all goes to plan, Wilmore and Williams will return to Earth late next week. The Starliner is designed to come back to land, using airbags to soften contact with the ground. There are a number of places in the U.S. Southwest where the touchdown could be performed, but mission managers will wait to see local weather forecasts before making a final choice. The road to launch. Development and vision. Boeing began developing the CST-100 Starliner in 2010 as part of NASA's Commercial Crew Program, which sought to engage private companies in creating spacecraft capable of transporting astronauts to the International Space Station, ISS. The aim was to reduce dependence on Russian Soyuz capsules and ensure a consistent American presence in low Earth orbit. The Starliner was envisioned as a reusable spacecraft designed to be launched atop various rockets, including the Atlas V, Delta IV, and even SpaceX's Falcon 9. Contributions to Artemis program. Looking beyond the ISS, the Starliner could play a role in NASA's Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the Moon and lay the groundwork for future missions to Mars. The experience gained from operating the Starliner in low Earth orbit will be invaluable as NASA and its partners develop the technologies and systems needed for deep space exploration. Conclusion: Boeing's successful launch of the CST-100 Starliner represents a major achievement in the realm of commercial spaceflight. Overcoming significant challenges, the company has demonstrated resilience and commitment to advancing human space exploration. As the Starliner moves closer to operational status, it promises to enhance the capabilities of the International Space Station program and contribute to humanity's broader ambitions in space. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.